Okay, now that we have talked about all six of the lifestyle medicine domains and how they relate to maintaining or improving our physical health, um, I want to talk about what happens when we have a setback. So it's obviously vitally important to try and avoid injuring ourselves, avoid chronic diseases and all those things. However, people get injured. We all get injured. It happens. It's happened to me. You could be the healthiest, most fit person in the world. You could be struggling with weight loss. It can happen to anyone. You can be on the sports field. You can be walking down the stairs. It does happen. And it's important that we know how to help our bodies heal. Because while, doctors and physical therapists can help us, there's only so much they can do. And we have to help our bodies recover in order to get back to where we were before whatever setback happened. So I'm just going to go over a really simplified version of the healing process. When we're injured, our body initiates a process to form blood clots in an injured area, and it begins acute inflammation. So that's why we get that swelling, that redness if we sprain an ankle, something like that. And then the cells begin the process of rebuilding and replicating. The reparative process moves more quickly if the body has better blood flow. So that's why it's so important to move if we can, to eat healthy, to not clog up our arteries with unhealthy food or use substances that will harm the rebuilding and replicating of cells. So don't drink or smoke because tobacco, like I said, tobacco and alcohol slow the body's natural healing process during this phase or all these phases. And the injured area needs to be retrained and re-strengthened to back what it was before or to better than it was before. This happens through strength training, balance training, exercises. So that's why physical activity and moving more is so important to recovery. And a physical therapist will tell you that, a doctor will tell you that, but they can only tell you when they're in the office. Once you go home, it's up to you to follow through and to help yourself get better. So we can also use the six domains of lifestyle medicine we talked about to help our bodies heal. If we're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, this will help our cells replicate and rebuild. It'll help our blood flow, and it'll help our body feel better and refuel and regain, the strength needed. We can also, rest, ice, compression, and elevate, if you've ever heard the saying rice, to reduce the inflammation. We can eat anti-inflammatory foods, which we talked about. And I recommend taking a look at the handout related to anti-inflammatory foods. We can stretch to make sure that if you hurt your shoulder, that it doesn't freeze up, or if you hurt your hip, that doesn't freeze up on you because that would be really debilitating. And we can strengthen our muscles. So if we really hurt ourselves, that part of our body is going to be immobile. And once we are able to, we need to retrain and re-strengthen those muscles so that they don't give out on us. And only you can do that. So if pain continues, after rest and home treatment, and it's been a few days and the swelling doesn't go away, there's visible physical deformities, numbness, tingling, or pain is so bad that it disrupts your activities of daily living, then you need to go back to the doctor or go to the doctor in the first place and they can help you out. But if you just follow the guidelines of lifestyle medicine, you will be amazed at how much your body can heal itself. So I really hope that these videos about prevention and recovery have helped you. And the last thing we're going to do is just bring it all together.